Welcome back to the Martin Leaker channel. Today, a mind-blowing post. Today, a real creepy mystery, which I'm hoping you guys can help me along with. Comment and let me know what you think about all of this. This has been a case study that's been ongoing for myself personally for probably a decade now, since I found some anomalies concerning the events of 1906 in San Francisco, the earthquake, and apparently the subsequent firestorm, which has been bugging me like a thorn in my side for the longest time. And then over time, I started to find real inconsistencies and evidence, clear evidence of fabrication of the history and the narrative behind this event, which I'll show you along the way in this post. Now we're going to start here. Now this picture here is cited to being one of the greatest significant historical pictures ever taken. Now I downloaded this picture from gigapix.com back in 2014, even before I was on YouTube. And it blew my mind for this reason. It's from 1906 and it is HD immaculate. I mean, from 2,000 feet up, apparently, you can see people in the streets. This is the, as you can see, the course, the terminal building, which is in scaffolding, looking down Market Street towards the call center, as you can see there. Now, there is 1,000 different things to look at in this image. You can see all of the FEMA camps, and you can see life returning to the city of San Francisco. Over here, you can see, as far as the eye can see, all the streets are clear of buildings. There seems to be some large buildings. We've had a mag up and examined these. One of them looked like they got a dome in the Bay Area, which is cited for where the Great Exposition is supposed to be. Only that is not for another decade yet. So my concerns or my queries in this, guys, are concerning how come there is this airship, this steampunky Tartarian looking airship in my image here. And I just presumed, okay, well, they're doing all this by the golden age of Tartarian flight, which we presume balloons. Photograph is of San Francisco in ruins from the Lawrence Captive Airship, 2,000 feet above San Francisco Bay, overlooking the waterfront, sunset over Golden Gate. Copyrighted by GOR Lawrence Corporation of Chicago, and it says May the 28th, and I think that says 1906. So it's a month, because the event happened in April. The apparent earthquake happened in April. After said event, now it's over the water. The blimp or the airship, the Lawrence Captive, is over water and it's looking over the city. Now, we asked AI what it thinks about, or questioned AI about said Lawrence Captive Airship. And this is what it came up with. DeepSeek answers, May 2020. What was the Lawrence Captive Airship, and why use the word captive? Good question. The Lawrence Captive Airship was used by the US Army Signal Corporations for meteorological research during World War I. Operated around 1917 to 18. It was a blimp designed for tethered flight, meaning it was anchored to the ground and not free to move independently. This setup allowed it to serve as a platform for conducting atmospheric studies, such as monitoring weather conditions and aiding artillery fire by providing meteorological data. The term captive highlights its tethered nature, indicating it was controlled from the ground rather than being a free-flying vessel. Associated with the Lawrence brothers, early aviation pioneers as was based in Cleveland, Ohio, and contributed to military and scientific achievements at the time. So they're saying that the Lawrence Captive Airship wasn't even around until the First World War. So how is it taking photographs tethered? Let me just give you a reminder of this image. So what is it exactly tethered to? I'll show you some photographs of said, because it's more a kite than a dirigible. What is it tethered to? Is it tethered to, because I've looked at a map, there's water here. Is it tethered to a boat? Well, maybe it would have to take the photograph on the up roll then to get such a pristine HD image in 1906. I mean, pristine image where you can mag up and see people on the streets and every single building is in view and clear. Okay, so what is going on? That one AI there will try and corroborate it, but check this out then, guys. Give details about its involvement in supposed earthquake in San Francisco. So the Lawrence Captive Airship, developed by the Lawrence brothers, Burrell and Orville. Isn't that coincidental? The ones that invented air flight were Orville and Wilbur Wright, and then you got Burrell and Orville for the inventors of said science that we're going to talk about now. Was indeed an innovative early inflatable airship that contributed to scientific research during its time. However, there is no credible historical evidence to record it ever being involved in supposed earthquake of San Francisco. Oops-a-daisy, what is going on then, guys? Well, there's only a couple of, at this stage in this post, there's only a couple of conclusions I can come to. We're looking at two timelines. Oh, it's all been completely fabricated. So point one, the Lawrence Captive Airship timeline. The Lawrence brothers were early pioneers in aviation, and their inflatable airships were used primarily for meteorological research during World War I. The airships were tethered, meaning they were anchored to the ground and not capable of free flight. This captive status allowed them to serve as platforms for weather observation and other scientific studies. 2. The San Francisco earthquakes. The most notable earthquake in San Francisco was in 1906, San Francisco earthquake, which occurred on April the 18th, 1906. At the time of this earthquake, the Lawrence brothers were still developing their airships, and none of their creations were operational yet. There is no historical record or credible evidence suggesting that the Lawrence Captive Airship was involved in any earthquake relief efforts, including those related to San Francisco. 3. Possible misconception. If there's a reference to an earthquake in San Francisco involving the Lawrence Captive Airship, it might be a misunderstanding or a mixing up of historical events. The airship's operational period was in 1917 to 18. Was during the First World War, and it was primarily used for weather research in Ohio and not for earthquake relief. Oh, the Thlot Pickens. Conclusion. The Lawrence Captive Airship was the most important early airship used for scientific research, but it was not involved in any earthquake, including the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. The confusion may arise between its association with aviation history, and there is no credible link between the Lawrence Captive Airship and any earthquake-related events. And then AI gives you sources, like a ton of sources to back up this narrative. Okay, summary here. Again, saying that it was only for the US Army Signal Corps in World War I tethered. Sources. So the Smithsonian Institute, institution, National Air Museum and Space Museum, Library of Congress, Airships Net, Captive Airship website there you can see, the Airship Society, the Lawrence Captive Airship there, and the academic database and Lawrence Captive Airship there you can see more evidence or sources to say that this never happened. This photograph could not have happened. That print must have been happened later, or something else is going on. There's no credible historical evidence linking the Lawrence Captive Airship to any earthquake, particularly the San Francisco earthquake. The airship's primary role was meteorological study, not relief disaster, as I have already mentioned. The conclusion is focus on reputable historical and scientific sources as suggested above. So go and check out them sources. Let me just bring them up on screen. Okay, we're moving on. Tethered to what? Tethered to the water. This is the photograph that I'm talking about that has been colorized in later date, and you can see that it is fantastically detailed. 1906. Come on, guys. You know, Queen Victoria's just popped up logs. This is like early world. And you can see there's a lot of scarred, burned buildings, but tents and a relief effort. But all's good, because in 9 years' time, they'll have the biggest exposition, Pan Pacific Exposition, up and running, and the city will be back, built back better than ever. And the first building that they actually scaffolded it out was the famous Terminus building. And there's still some sort of smoke coming up. This is a month later than the actual event that they say happened, which I'm getting very questionable about what actually did happen. I know that the city wasn't destroyed by an earthquake. I'm confident that I proved that. And I will show you why I think that along the end of this post. So this was also taken, apparently, even though they said it was impossible for it to have happened because the airship required hadn't even been invented yet. It wasn't invented till the First World War. Yet, in pencil on this photograph, which makes it credible to be written in pencil, see? Photograph there, copyrighted, the Lawrence Brothers, Chicago, 1906. And there, it is in 1906. May the, I think it might be the 15th. There's a wrinkle in the page. Anyway, so they have tethered it here, if that is what they've done. And they have taken what looks like a full panoramic image using said new innovative invention that we'll look at pictures of now. So this is a completely separate picture that they've attributed to, and there's the call center to give you some idea of where we are. That must have been a massive building. Just mind-blowing. You can see all people moseying around. So that one is attributed to the Lawrence Brothers. Just mind-blowing. And, excuse me, there's another one here that is also attributed, but this one's not Super HD. I can't get it in Super HD, but you can see that it says Captive Airship here. And the elevation, again, for 2,000 feet. It's a completely different perspective. Looking up to, you know, City Hall in this area, which shows everything wiped out. So again, attributed to the Lawrence, even though they said it's impossible. So this is the invention. So it's not what you'd think. Apparently there's a massive, stunning HD camera that can work 2,000 feet up, even though it's that cold, the wind conditions. Yeah, it stays absolutely still and takes a pristine HD shot like you've never seen in your life before in 1906, by the way. So it goes up like this. It looks like there's some stabilizing stuff on it. Might be able to stabilize it. Maybe a gimbal on there, maybe a gyro on there, something along those lines. And it's tethered from kites. 1906, and that is on one of the pictures as well, which is attributed to them. Now, this is the one you get off Google. If you look for that image that I just showed you, San Francisco Lawrence Captive Airship, this comes up on Google, and there are changes. An absence of that airship that was on the photograph that I downloaded from Gigapix in 2014. It's not there anymore. So has it been scrubbed, or was it added to my pictures all that time ago? Anyway, again, what is it tethered to out here? How is it staying so still? And kites, aren't they all over the shop? So yeah, about 2 months ago now, I found this image along with multiple other images, which is just mind-blowing. Again, from an elevation. I'm not sure what tower it's from, because wherever it is, it has to be at least as high as the court tower. It's a very high place, maybe a church, that is seeing the San Francisco earthquake's firestorm, only there's no evidence of any earthquake. So this is what we got so far. There's no evidence of any earthquake. The city seems to have been eradicated, a lot of it by fire. All of these buildings that you see here, I just showed you in that image just now. You see where the call center was. Every building that you see here will be gone. You see all the people out here. Isn't that weird? Will be gone, but not from the earthquake, from a fire storm, apparently. And these apparent dirigibles or kite systems are tethered, and that's why they got the name Captive. So if that is the case with this image, why is it recording the fire with no earthquake? Mind-blowing. So AI DeepSeek seems to think that it is not happening. Check on another AI like Grok, like I did yesterday, and Chat, and also Perplexity says this. The Lawrence Captive Airship achieved the greatest historical significance in May 1906, just 1 month after the devastating San Francisco earthquake and fire, whatever. Lawrence used his system to capture a series of remarkable panoramic photographs showing the destruction of the city with unprecedented clarity and scope. Oh, sure. These images, particularly the famous San Francisco in ruins panorama, provided an invaluable historical record of one of America's most significant natural disasters. The photographs were so detailed that they showed up people walking, wagons on the move, and crowded streetcars put back in service just a couple of days before the photograph. Very fucking convenient. So yeah, it's just basically, if you go through this AI Perplexity, it's going to give you the official narrative with a lot of details. Okay, but the other AI also has links and sources and a shit ton of information on this subject. What do we make? Which one's telling the truth? Which one is real? Well, considering there was no earthquake and the city was on fire, then that's a lie. And if you tell one lie, you're going to tell another lie. And considering what I'm showing you at the end of this video, that the entire narrative of the San Francisco earthquake was in fact fabricated, then the whole thing is fabricated, and this is just extra super juicy evidence. History is a lie. These are images of World War I blimps. Now, they're saying in that narrative that they were early innovators of this blimps and, well, for meteorological scientific studies. But you can see that they were really advanced during World War I. The R-33 here, being brought out of a huge hangar, was used in the First World War. They used dirigibles, as you can see, for enemy aircraft to stop them flying over lines. They could hold giant nets, which would stop planes flying through too. And you can see a giant railway cannon there, a big Bertha, do some terrible damage far away. And they are massive, some of them, just like the Hindenburg, as you can see, a massive steel wire frame, just like the Hindenburg, and blimps. So there was a big operation. I think that there was a lot of people in the war employed in this sort of blimp operation. Where I live here in Cairo, in Cardiff, there was a World War II barrage depot just over the back from where I lived. And it was a really big place where they had huge holders and huge blimps, which they used to put over into the Bristol Channel to stop the Luftwaffe zipping up the channel and dropping bombs on poor old South Wales, which happened a lot, especially if you were in poor old Swansea. So you can see here, 1950, more, that was a German plane, I think, was it, or French? No, it was Aerostat. Says in French though. And look at the debris of these when they've been shot down, and a lot of them were automated with engines, as you can see, and a lot of room for people inside. This one is a British one, as you can see. A lot of people holding the tethers, and you can drop bombs using them as well. They're great little bombers. And look at that thing. How amazing a shot is that? It's come down on a forest or a woodland, and the pine trees are actually inside it. That's quite a mind-blowing image, isn't it? So let me know what you think, guys. My head was spinning yesterday thinking about all of this. It's just extra proof to back up what I'm actually been proposing for since I first started talking about this actually years ago now. But the evidence has just started piling up, no earthquake. It looks like the city was on fire, torched. Other stuff going on, like the San Francisco safes, attribution to plague, apparently, and all these other narratives around the San Francisco fire. And now we find that the distinct possibility, looking at the amount of sources available, the Lawrence Captive Airship was not in service and not even existing during 1906. The British dirigible and blimp. So we've long, been talking about on this channel that we think that the balloon was the transport of the past in the Golden Age of Tartaria and was taken out using the psyop of the Hindenburg disaster so as to put people off the prospect of comfortably floating across the Atlantic Ocean. Absolutely fantastic form of transport. And you can see, look at this. This just looks like a bit of a plane, actually, falling in Germany. And some of the bombing, Zeppelins came over Britain and dropped a lot of bombs. This is Whitby. For some reason, they attacked a small fishing town. And look at this Zeppelin carriage with the machine gun and everything. Just amazing. I often think about what it must have been like in the First World War. You never had parachutes per se, and men going up in planes, battling one another, like the Red Baron, Biggles, with his funny little hat. Yeah, look at that thing there, another dirigible, an old world castle. And there's the Germans knocking up their balloons. There's many uses for the balloons. Obviously, high observation of enemy lines, you can see, and you can drop bombs, and obviously scientific studies. So yeah, used in great. And there's R33 in flight. She's a whopper. Load her up with a load of bombs, and away you go, off to war. Drop some bombs on the enemy trenches. This is the enemy lines. The reason it looks white is because the ground was full of chalk just below the Earth's surface, and when you dig it up, it looked chalky. It looked like the back of a dying toad, one poet once said about the Battle of the Somme. Lifeless, like the back of a toad. Big engines on these balloons as well. This is an aircraft engine, it looks like, as well. So yeah, fantastic. And obviously naval support as well. Balloons with naval support for aircraft attacking. You can get in with your machine guns and take out them planes. This one's got an American and British flag flying. The NS8. An Anglo-American affair. Absolutely fantastic. Very, very interesting to me as the First World War. Always has been. I probably always will be. Okay, let's move on. So to conclude, guys, just a final check with DeepSeek AI, and just to ask it and do a conclusion. Did they take photographs of San Francisco after the 1906 disaster? Based on analysis of historical context provided, it appears that the Lawrence brothers did not take photographs of San Francisco after the 1906 disaster. Here's a concise summary. 1. Timing. So we might be looking at 2 timelines here. This might be just extra evidence for that as well. In 1906, the San Francisco earthquake and fire occurred in April 1906. The Lawrence brothers were involved in their early aviation work starting around 1908. They built their first aeroplane and the Lawrence Luddington in that year. Availability of the aircraft, since they did not have an airplane availability until 1909, it would have been impossible for them to take aerial photographs of the disaster in 1906. The means, while it was possible, they could have taken ground-based photographs after the disaster, but there's no specific evidence indicating that the Lawrence brothers were involved in documenting the aftermath of the 1906 earthquake and fire. Conclusion. Given their tie line and lack of records linking them to such photography, it is unlikely that the Lawrence brothers took the photographs of San Francisco's 1906 disaster. So one AI, the deep AI, is telling us one thing, and the more recent, updated Wikipedia type AI that just tells you any old shit, ask it if Earth is actually a globe and see what it says. Then you know, don't you, that they talk whatever they are told to say. Not sentient, advanced beings at all. So yeah, no going back, a terminal reset and a fabricated past. I posted 3 years ago, guys, 50,000 views there, but you can see it shows you images of this. These are done by 2 brothers as well. The narrative behind them is way iffy as well, which I've also covered, guys. It's just the Miles brothers are just, the more I look into it, the more I can see all of the holes and the gaps of ill-constructed historical narrative that was not too difficult, because I managed to do it, to pull apart as fake and fabricated. This one is fabricated. There's no way it cannot be. What you find is all the cars in the world are in San Francisco, but unfortunately they're nowhere else in the world. And after the said fire and make-believe earthquake, there are no cars on the street. So all the cars miraculously disappear after that day. For some reason. What you have to appreciate is the suicidal nature of the people. I mean, further back in these images, there's a guy that nearly gets killed with his baby, doesn't even give a shit. Excuse my language. Okay. So this car here will do a loopy-doopy, come around the back again, and get back in front again. You can match a few registration plates. A couple of our cars are doing it because they know what's going on. All of the actors, you don't think they get that many actors? Cecil B. DeMille's film Cleopatra had hundreds of thousands of people in it, extras. So check out the suicidal nature of everybody. The boy, he knew. Everybody knows, because by here and further on down, there's a lady, a kind of gentleman on the one side. They're waiting for it to come up. And they give, when you see a really cruddy B movie and the actors actually look at the camera, they're doing it on this. And I got iced like a shithouse rat. I don't miss a trick, guys, let me tell you. Like him, I am. I don't miss a trick. Look at that. Wasn't that suicidal? And he just stepped on there like he didn't want to step on that bus. Honestly, he was just going to cross, and then he's like, oh, I'll just step on this bus. Just use that car that just came around again. See it? 4867. You'll see that again in a little while. And there's the boy on the bike again. Another thing is the horse and carts are on like this cobble, and they're all over the place. I don't think horse and carts ever worked on cobble, especially for delivering glass. Must have been near him. There you go, around again. See you soon. Near impossible to get glass to any buildings unless they had like, continental quilts between the glass. That guy nearly died. Doesn't matter though. It's not important. It's not important. Okay. So most of these people in the, are just like, just unbelievably lucky that haven't been killed that day. So let's move it on a bit because we're going to get down. There he is again. There's another one, 3221. Although I have been told the registration plates didn't actually exist in 1906 because there wasn't enough cars in the world. And the Model T Ford hadn't gone into mass production at this time either. Although 4 cars had been built. So the kid, like, because he's like seriously psychic, knew that guy was there with the camera on the front of the tram. Because he's on a tram, I suspect, for such a stable image, wouldn't you say? But the boy, well, he sort of gives the game away. Now, every building you can see on here, just take note now of this image here. It says on here, gen or generation. And you'll see it again. Look at him riding on the back, waving. Yeah. And I think one of these coaches is 33, coming up as well. That's probably just like because his number is 33. But Jen up here, right? Whoop, another nearly dyer. Oh, there he is again, 4867. Well done. Oh, fuck me, nearly killed him then. Doesn't matter. He's driving straight enough. That's all we need, isn't it? Whoop. God, he's gone over there. Now he's going to crash into that. No, he's not. Oh, Jesus, he just missed it. Oh, he's coming round again for another loop-to-loop. Just missed that. Oh, my God, my stomach is in knots every time I watch this suicidal behavior by everybody. Even going to Market Street in 1906 is desperately dangerous. Look at these hanging on the backs of that car. The movie cars, the studio cars. Hollywood's up and running. This is San Francisco, just up the highway from LA. I'm sure they can manage to take a film crew, knock this stuff up. Okay. So we get down to the spooky terminus building, as I've shown you before, and there's a few really freaky people here. There's a couple of nuns that are hiding their face, which I've posted about, and some other strange behavior as well at the terminal building. And this here, this bunko booth, the ticket booth for the terminal, is on the wrong side. In the black and white photographs, it's on this side. Yeah, people say to me, because it's a negative or it's a reversal photograph. Well, if that's the case, it should say LWO, or instead of owl. It got owl on the building the right way round. It's not a reversed image. Keep watching. So many mind-blowing inconsistencies with it all. This is few days after that really, really lucky bit of the best footage ever out of history by them Miles brothers that's captured, and then days later the exact same road has disappeared, but loads and loads of people, all with their Sunday best, are going out for a nice day out in a national disaster, because that is exactly what you do. Yeah, it's like a northern city got completely wiped out and everybody got killed and the city's in ruins. I'll be like, fuck me, I'm getting on a train and going up and taking a look. Said nobody ever. Think about it. You don't go visiting national disasters where loads of people have apparently died, do you? So yeah, that building, the Gen, was just on the right hand side. I was just rabbiting. You may have missed it. but it is, that one had a side on it. So here is that bunko booth. Stop. And it's against this pillar here instead of that pillar here, like it was by there. So that side there, you can see that it's against the right pillar. And on the black and white photograph over here, it's against the left pillar on this side. And it's not the angle, because this is the same road you're going down. Anybody? It's a reverse image, Matt. Okay, well, then the writing would have to be reverse as well, wouldn't it? Excuse me. Let me move on. And I show you there that it's on the right. And then it's on the left. Like two different timelines in two different places. Supremely spooky, guys. And these freaks outside here, let me just show you. This is outside the ticket center. Excuse me, this is an old video. So yeah, I'll be concluding this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, Martin Leaker. I'm going to be back very soon with more content. I've got a couple written up, ready to go, but it's just timing, isn't it? So look at these pasty, white, zombie nuns. And this little weird guy behind you, he's like hiding from the camera. They're all like, no, it's there. It's like, and then the date anomaly. Built in 836. Why is that 836? So many questions in this video, guys. Hope you can help out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you do comment. What you see here is the people coming from the Terminus building, and they're just going, I don't know, maybe somebody can tell me. To me, this is one of the most haunting, spooky images that I have ever come across. Every single, like that. Excuse me. Then two ladies there, for example, in their Sunday finest. Where did they go? Where? How come? How come they're all immaculate with their suits on? Where's their bags? Why are they not alarmed by the devastating effects of the earthquake? Them ladies. All walking in the same direction. Where do you think they're going? Because they're not going to go and visit their Auntie Mabel, and they're not going to a house because there's not that many left, because they're all like gone, aren't they? So where is everybody going? Well, could be that these are the replacements for this city. It could be that this city was wiped off the face of the earth by an unknown narrative that is not in the history books, and that these people were new arrivals and inheritors of this city, the city of San Francisco. This is coming up to the town hall. This is just unreal, this footage. There's one car there, as you can see, but the posts all intact. A lot of people, you know, I've been talking for years about, you know, direct energy weapons, fasces, actually, electromagnetic technologies, are causing a lot of the disasters throughout history. And I think, you know, in this case, that is what's going on. For the call center to be on fire from the top down and not the bottom up, then something hit it from above heat-wise, just like other historical things that happened in more recent times, if you know what I mean. So let me know what you think about all this. AI, well, a couple of AIs. Grok said that it happened. There was the captive that took the photographs in San Francisco, and that one other AI as well. And chat said as well. But this DeepSeek has given a lot. You know, why would AI construct an entire false narrative and a load of fake sources when they're not fake sources? All the info's there. Why? Why? Because the more recent AI is talking bullshit like it usually does. Don't you think? Looks like they're queuing for a bit of grubbage there, guys. Oh, I love horses. Just madness. So yeah, to conclude, guys, I'm going to be cutting this off now. A tethered kite system airship thing, which was the Captive Lawrence, was apparently over the water, did the best, most significant historical image in American history, apparently one of them, of San Francisco after the event. The event that they said was an earthquake, which I can show you isn't an earthquake at all, but the buildings were all intact, and a fire came along, which is from whatever causes, and which burned the city down. And they admit, even in the official narrative, they used explosives to create fire breaks and by blasting blocks so that the fire couldn't spread to other parts of the city. But as you can see, the fire spread everywhere and destroyed much of the city. Now, where are they going? Just, they don't even seem to care. You think you'd have someone like wiping a tissue to their eye, crying, especially when it's supposed to be like, what, 4,000-6,000 people got killed. It's supposed to be. Don't see too many Chinese in these pictures either, considering the Chinese are everywhere. They got Chinatown in San Francisco. There's a big Arthur there, as you can see. The right way around is not mirror image photography, which some people have been suggesting. Jen, see the Jen there? That was in blue color, wasn't it, on the color footage? So that building there with Arthur on there seems to have survived the rest. All the women, though, they're dressed in their bloody Sunday finest, aren't they? Lovely hats. I always wonder how they got this stuff so white when they haven't got DAS automatic. You know, they don't have a DAS doorstep challenge, do they? Are your whites whiter than whites? Would you like to use personal automatic? They don't do none of that, do they? And they starch. All the men have starch shirts. How do they even do that? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, a mystery. A mystery for us to solve, guys. Let's have a look at some more of this footage before I dive off. There's a cavalryman, member of the military. Some buildings, as you can see, are still intact there, but not that many. Just mind-blowing. Wow. Can you imagine actually seeing that? And an American city too. And this is the city hall. You know what that was like. It was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? And look, it is now in the modern day. And there's a lot of people with them white bands on the hats. I think they're appointed like Big Brother's minders, because they're everywhere in these pictures. Just men with a white ribbon on their hats, which give us some sort of authority, I guess. It's that return to building, which survived really well. You find the round building survived pretty well. But look, the windows are smashed there. How can an earthquake just smash a couple of freaking windows? And then the rest of the building's okay. And how can a fire miss the palm trees? They go up like a bloody torch, don't they? They're really dry, aren't they? And the wind as well. That's another thing with that tethered balloon. It's the crosswinds. Apparently, San Francisco's famous for mist, and it's windy, isn't it? Yeah. So how are they keeping it so static? I don't think stabilizers would do it. So, it's falling apart. Their narrative is. I got two narratives, guys. I've got two narratives for the same event, and the first one, makes all the sense in the world, because this is a fabricated event, and history has all been fabricated. The dates have been rewritten. The stories have been rewritten. AI, it don't know his ass from its elbow. It doesn't know which story is real, which one to tell. We know, because we've been doing the investigation, and I've been doing the research for years now, and other people have too. And I want to thank the people that have helped out with investigation and the research concerning San Francisco event. It's been one of the biggest cases that I've come across. You can see these guys here with them things on their heads. Give them some significance. If you could just turn the clock back and go and have a look. Find out what bloody went on. Because what they're telling us, that's not what's going on. Who ate all the pies? Who ate all the pies? You did, you did. You ate all the pies. Every single person wears a hat. And in this area, everyone wears a bowler hat. famous in Britain. The men go to the banks. They all wear these bowler hats and they swing their walking sticks and their umbrellas, and they're doing the same here. Unbelievable footage, isn't it? Chilling, isn't it, guys? Please let me know what you think in chat and in the comment section. I will be back very soon. This has been Martin Leaker, Flat Earth British. And I will be back in a day or so with another post, and flat day is coming. See you soon.